Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Nick from ForexForNoobs.com with a daily analysis. Today is Tuesday the 17th of August 2021. Time is 9:32 a.m. here in the UK. You are looking at a USDJPY daily chart. Today's analysis, we're just going to be looking for price action setups as we always do on the pairs listed to the right here. So let's just dive right into this one, guys. First things first, USDJPY and AUDUSD. Like profits everywhere. I was in a losing streak and now I'm not. Losing streak has finally broken. Is it going to remain broken? Who knows? That's just the fun of trading, isn't it? It's the fun of trading. Sometimes your losing streaks last 5 trades. Sometimes they last 15 trades. Well, no, I've not had a 15 trade losing streak in a long time. But, some people do. Point is, the trick with losing streaks is to just keep on trading. The longer you trade through your losing streaks, the more likely you are to to get a win and break that losing streak. Kind of obvious statement there if you really think about it. But yeah, anyway, point is, USDJPY was a hugely successful trade. That just moved right in our direction over 2.5 days, really. Hit targets. Well, if you include the weekend was there too, so 4.5 days. But if you don't include the weekend, only trading days, 2.5 days, boom, hit target. So this trade that I shared last week was closed out with profit. Take this one off the list. There's not much else to talk about. I mean, it has closed with profit, but I will say right away, potential for a long trade here. So it moved right down to the support area, stalling out in the support area, potential for a long trade. I'm going to be looking to get in long on this one. So we'll move it down to the potential trades list and we'll monitor this today and tomorrow for a potential long. Now, AUDUSD, we've been in this one for a long time now. Basically, when was it entered? I can't even remember at this point. But we've been in this one for like 25 days. Now, getting into this one, it was always a long-term trade, but I was expecting at this point in the trade to be a lot further than I am now. I wasn't expecting it to just move completely sideways for this amount of time, but it seems to have finally broken down a little bit. This is the most profit we've ever been in on this position here. So it's looking good. It's looking good. It has, you will note, not by much, but it has broken the low set, what's this, 26, 27 days ago? It has broken that low. So yeah, it looks quite good. Finally, we're getting some movement. Like I said, it was a long-term trade. I was planning on holding this one for several weeks, but I was expecting several weeks down the line I was hoping anyway, to be here. But yeah, it's just been moving sideways. So gonna leave this one open. Obviously, no reason to close it out. And we'll just monitor this as it progresses. So on to some actual stuff you guys are going to be more interested in, which is upcoming setups. Let's talk about GBPCHF, CAD CHF. So all of these turned around last week. Now I didn't enter any of these. I talked about these potential shorts last week. So short CAD CHF. I didn't enter, wait, which ones? Oh, I can't even remember, guys. It's just been a kind of a whirlwind week for me. I've got so much work going on the house. I've got like major renovations going on. The garden, the inside is being done. I booked everything at the same time, thinking it would be a good idea to get it all out of the way at once. But I'll tell you what, it really was not a good idea to get it all out of the way at once. So my brain is just completely frazzled with everything that's been going on. But I know some of you guys entered some of these setups. It just depends which one of these you entered. There was a lot of options here because we were looking at GBP CHF, CAD CHF, New Zealand CHF, USD CHF, but I said don't enter all of them, or if you're going to enter all of them, split your position over a few different ones. So what you could do, let's say you normally risk, just as an example number, $100 on a trade. Instead of picking one of these and risking $100, you would risk $25 on 4 of them, right? So that's what we talked about. We talked about splitting your risk over them, or, you know, if you really wanted to just pick one of them, or you could pick two of them and not take the other two. I left it up to you how you wanted to progress, how you wanted to handle this trade, but they were essentially the same trade, and you can see from the results that they were all the same, right? Some performed better than others, but they were all essentially the same trade. They all peaked at resistance and turned around really fast. So I just want to talk a little bit about, real quick, I just want to talk a little bit about how entering by splitting your risk over 4 trades would have performed. Because, for example, USDCHF, now this one would have been tricky to enter because it never really got up to our resistance area. So this one would have been tricky to enter. So this one will probably just take off because this one would not have been entered realistically. So now you could split your position between 3 trades. You normally risk $100, so you risk 30 free on 3 trades. So New Zealand CHF. Now this one turned around quite fast, but depending on the time frame you entered, if you entered on the 12-hour, you definitely could have got in on this one. CAD CHF, this one daily is fine, even the 12-hour doesn't really matter. And GBPCHF, this one formed a little bit below resistance. So this one you could either have removed and not entered because it was too low, or you could have entered along with these 3. So in this specific scenario, let's just imagine, and I'll try to be real quick with this one. Let's just imagine you entered all 3 of these. Let's talk. So, and this one would have been on the 12-hour, so we'll just go down to that and confirm, something like that. So you entered all 3 of these. What would be the benefit of entering all 3 versus entering just one? Well, if you were focused solely on USDCHF, you might have skipped this trade because USDCHF didn't form a setup. But the main benefit in this scenario here with how all of this unfolded is that you could have pulled off a way better risk to reward ratio depending on, I'm explaining this pretty badly. All right, so if you were to enter just GBPCHF, your risk to reward ratio would have been around about 2.5. If you entered CAD CHF, your risk to reward ratio would have been 3. And you could have extended that, and right now you'd be floating profit of 4.5R. New Zealand CHF, right now you'd be floating profit of 4.5. So both of these have performed better than GBPCHF. Now, had you just picked one of these, you could have theoretically picked CAD CHF or New Zealand CHF to get into, and you'd be doing pretty well right now if you were still in it, or if you closed out, you would have done pretty well. But had you picked GBPCHF, overall, your profit would have been less than had you picked all 3. Because you split your profit over all 3, if you did, then your results overall would have been better because GBPCHF would have been the worst performer, but you would have had 2 very, very good performers. And if you had these still open, you'd be some nice floating profit on 2 of these. And GBPCHF, it's not like you wouldn't be in nice floating profit, but you'd be in less profit. So that's the benefit of splitting over 3 positions. Anyway, I'll just I'll just take these off the list because honestly, I imagine most of you have closed this out with profit, or if you haven't yet, you probably will do today because you're in some nice floating profit, or you'll probably do in the next few days as it pushes down further. So let's just look for some new setups because we're 9 minutes in and we haven't done that. I've been babbling a bit today. New Zealand has taken an absolute pounding. I saw someone mention that in the Discord chat room. I think because New Zealand's going into lockdown again, and wow, has it tanked today. You know, EURJPY, I'm actually going to adjust this area down a little bit because we had that bounce there. I think that's a better support resistance area right now because it was a pretty significant bounce. And it does line up with a few historical bounces. So we'll stick that there for now. EURJPY stalling out on support potential there. Euro New Zealand has hit resistance. It's been a very strong move. Like I said, New Zealand has been dropping really fast today. So it's no wonder that Euro New Zealand has pushed up to resistance so quickly. Thing is that going to maintain? Because a lot of these big strong moves tend to retrace pretty quickly. So there could be potential for a short here from this resistance area. Euro USD, yeah, nothing there. GBP AUD, nothing there. GBP CAD stalling out on resistance. Yeah, potential. Some potential for a short trade there. I don't really like it. I'm not crazy about that, but there could be some potential there. I'll be looking at GBPCHF just to see if it stalls out on here, but not right now. Because it could be a potential short, long trade on GBPCHF if it stalls out, but it doesn't look like it's stalling, so I'll just skip that for now. GBP New Zealand at resistance, could be potential short there. Like Euro New Zealand, if this huge amount of weakness that we're seeing in New Zealand kind of fizzles out and New Zealand regains a little bit of strength, which is very possible, we could be seeing a turnaround and a retrace back to where it was. USD CAD has pushed up to resistance, showing signs of stalling out at resistance. We'll take a look at that for a potential short. And USDCHF, nothing right now. That retrace on gold though, guys. Wow. Gold has dropped down a lot. Now, the question is it going to continue to drop down? This isn't really Forex analysis. These are just my thoughts on gold. I would not be surprised if gold makes some new lows, right? If it turns around and goes all the way back down. Gold tends to react somewhat well to the 200 moving average as support or resistance. It's not perfect, but you can see like it does bounce from it a lot of times. And it has been reacting a lot at it recently. We can see some solid bounces from the 200 moving average. It's a pretty good support resistance area for gold at times. It really depends. Now, pushing up to here and bouncing away, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I wouldn't be surprised if we haven't seen the lowest point that gold is going to hit. I was looking for a nice buy on gold. Now, that's not a leveraged buy. I'm not trading gold from my broker. That's just straight up buying because you can buy gold and store it in vaults and stuff like that. But I missed my chance to get in when prices were really this low. I mean, it turned around really fast. I was expecting them to move lower from here. I wasn't really expecting it to push back up, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it does something like that. But you know what? That's just a random kind of... Well, it's not random. I shouldn't say that. It's not random. I'm basing that on something, but I'd say... Trust my Forex analysis more than you trust my gold analysis is what I'm trying to say. My gold predictions haven't been that great. I in fact bought gold pretty much up here. I've been buying gold for some time, so it's not like I'm down overall on gold. But I did buy up here thinking it was moving higher. So, you know, that's not what happened. Let's just say that's not what happened with gold. So anyway, guys, that's it for today's analysis. Thank you very much for attending or for watching, and I'll see you guys for tomorrow's.